Hey everyone, it's Des. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys were able to catch the last video where I talked about pretty much my issues with side hustles and spending all of my time on side hustles and how that has made me disconnected from really enjoying life in the moment and disconnected from what I'm interested in, what my hobbies are. Thank you guys so much for all of the comments that I received on that. It was kind of, I don't want to say a risk, but I felt very kind of nervous, kind of scared about just talking, coming at it like this, just really focusing on my personality and like connecting with you guys more than, really well put together tutorials, focusing on my hair, on beauty, all that. So I'm very grateful for all the comments I received and all the support I received. So thank you so much for that. But in this video, I want to really delve into what I've been doing since I made that resolution, which was to stop all my side hustles and focus on enjoying life, enjoying my interests, and how that has really played out. What interests I discovered and how I really discovered them. Like, what was the process of reconnecting with those after having been disconnected for so long. So if you guys didn't catch the last video, that's basically the gist of what happened. So in this one, I'm going to talk about what that process was for reconnecting with them, and then also what are the interests that I discovered. This video is going to be in two parts. So in the first part, you'll see me looking like this, and halfway through you'll see a wardrobe change, different hair. I just filmed it on a different day. So yeah, you'll get both in the same video, but don't be alarmed when you see me completely switch. So that is what is going to be going on in this video. As always, I have a latte here, so grab coffee and settle in. So basically, the process for rediscovering Barkley. Barkley, get your butt out of the camera. You can hang out with me if you want to. Nope. All right. What was I saying? So the process of rediscovering my interest was not so much a process at all, but really kind of random discovery. But since I've gone through it, I want to kind of help you guys with the shortcut, maybe something that'll make it easier for you. So I discovered like really three main ways that I was able to pinpoint some of my interests. So the first one, and this is the hardest one, and also I think the one that was most beneficial, was sitting in silence. Kind of getting used to just literally sitting on this couch right here and doing absolutely nothing. Just sitting with my thoughts. A few days of the week after I got off from work, I would, instead of micromanaging every single second for everything that I was doing for the rest of the night, I would just sit on this couch and do nothing, stare into space, just contemplate life, like really getting used to listening to the voice in my head. And when my roommate would walk out and see me just like sitting here doing nothing and say, "What are you doing?" I would always say, "Oh, I'm journaling," or "I'm writing," something like that. Which technically I had my journal beside me if I ever like had a thought or remembered something that I wanted to write down. But really I was just kind of sitting here like listening to myself. So it was kind of similar to meditation, but I found it different because for me in meditation, I'm always trying to completely clear my head, like not have any thoughts at all, or focus on something that requires no thought, like focus on my breathing or focus on the sound of like water or something like that. And in this case, I was trying to think, but not consciously, I guess. I was trying to just listen to my thoughts as they happened so I could hear what was going on in my head, which I feel like it's hard to explain, but once you do it, you'll know the difference between trying to clear your mind and trying to listen to it. This was really beneficial for me because I get so used to just being in a routine, going all the time. And I'm constantly having thoughts, but they're not always what am I trying to say? Like, they're not in tune with me. It's always about what I'm doing, the things I need to get done, and not so much how I'm feeling in here. I think that's a good way to explain it. So just getting to slow down and really sit and be in the moment and hear, hey, what's going on in here, was beneficial in me kind of getting back to understanding who I am as a person. And then the interests, the things that I enjoy, they kind of came along with that. But really the first part was getting to know me. The second thing, which was a lot easier, was to actually just scroll down YouTube and watch random videos. And this was super easy because this is something I do all the time. I'm sure a ton of us do this all the time, just scrolling down YouTube and watching any random thing that comes up. The difference is I started doing this more consciously. When I clicked on a video that piqued my interest, I would try and think, okay, why did I click on it? What is interesting about this? Like, what is the topic on? Is this something I could learn more about? And then allowing myself to kind of fall down a rabbit hole. So if I clicked on one thing that piqued my interest and I saw the recommended list, I would immediately just whoa, words. Keep clicking on any other random video that related to it that I was interested in. And that way I was able to find different topics that, I didn't go into YouTube and search, but just seeing the recommendeds and seeing, what caught my eye, I was able to more pinpoint what was interesting to me. And then finally, and I think this is the easiest thing to do, is to be just more mindful in your everyday practices, your everyday routine, and look at the things that you're currently doing and seeing if there is any kind of way to gain more enjoyment out of the activity. And this is something that I kind of talked about with YouTube, where it was something that I was doing very regularly, but the way I was doing it had sucked all of the fun out of it. So really I just had to go back to basics and figure out what it is that I liked about it in the first place. And so kind of taking that same mentality, that same idea of being mindful about what you're doing, apply it to everything in your entire day and see if there's any points, something that you really dread, something you hate doing, that if you kind of just flipped it a little bit, you could enjoy a lot more. Or something that you do enjoy, thinking about that, if you flipped it a little bit, how much more enjoyment could you gain out of it? Kind of in that way, it's not so much discovering something brand new, but discovering the things that are already there and you may already be doing, but just aren't doing to its maximum ability to bring enjoyment for you. So those are really the three things that I did. Number one, most important, getting to know myself, sitting in silence, listening to this voice in my head and seeing, what's this girl got going on? What's going on? Number two is going down YouTube, finding random rabbit holes to fall into and then seeing where you end up. And then number three is trying to maximize your enjoyment out of the activities that you're doing already. So that is it for kind of the process of how I got reacquainted with my interests. And now I'm going to flip over to talking about what are the interests that I discovered. I currently found around 3 different interests, 4 if you count YouTube, which I already talked about. 3 different interests, hobbies that I've been adding to my routine. I don't even want to say adding to my routine because that sounds like it's a really scheduled thing, but 3 different activities that I really love, that I'm really interested in and I've been able to kind of reconnect with. So I'm going to tell you what those things are right now. The first one is that I love to read. And this is so dumb, like, duh, you want to be a writer. Of course you like to read. Okay, I didn't know. I forgot, you guys. That's the whole point of this video, is that I forgot what really makes me happy. And one of those things is reading. Like, go figure, come on. But yes, I love to read and I just haven't had time for it. in the way I was living before. So now I've been making a lot of time to read, and what I quickly learned is that Barnes& Noble is a large place and there's lots of different things you can read. So then I had to get reacquainted with what types of things do I like to read. And I remember I used to be super into like YA romance fiction novels. And I did read some of those and I still liked them. But what I found was I kept reading like different types of books, and I found what I really love. So I think that's the difference as well. Even when you pinpoint an interest or a topic that you like, try and dig further to see how you can maximize it. And I found that it wasn't the YA fiction, it was nonfiction self-improvement books that are my shit, like really. So I've been limiting myself to purchasing 2 books a week. Like, it's my little fun thing that I do. I go to Barnes & Noble, I buy 2 books a week, and one is typically some sort of light, fun, like self-help type book, and another is something that's a little bit heavier, either something like on writing or something like on current events or current topics that I just want to learn more about. So I'm kind of balancing it a little bit. But I buy 2 books a week, and then I read those throughout the week, and then the next week I go back and I buy 2 more. I have to limit myself to 2 because depending on the type of book, I read pretty fast. Like, if it's a light read, I can finish it in a day. So I want something to read throughout the whole week. So if I don't limit myself, I'll end up buying like 5 or 6 books at a time, and it gets expensive, you guys. Books cost a lot. So I limit myself to 2 throughout the week. I also use my library has an online catalog, so I'm able to also download just ebooks and essentially check them out. You can check out online ebooks. So I do that as well throughout the week. So I end up reading more. But these are just like some of the books that I've bought in the last couple of weeks. And you guys, it's just been so fun to go to Barnes & Noble and just be among the books. This sounds so nerdy, but I remember when I was in high school, I used to just go to Barnes & Noble and you know the weird kids in like the manga section who would just sit in the aisles and just read all the manga so they didn't have to purchase it because there were so many of them, and just use it as their personal library. That was me. I used to just hang out in Barnes & Noble and read all the time, and that's something I forgot. So getting to reconnect with my love of reading has been amazing. So self-help and self-improvement have been like the 2 topics, I guess really 1 topic that I've been super interested in and learning more about. And along with that, I learned that I like reading about another topic, which is love and relationships and sex and sexuality. And the way I came upon this was by my second method, the just trolling down YouTube. I started, something was recommended to me. It was Shan Boody. You guys know Shan Boody. Shannon Boodram. She is a sexologist and she makes amazing videos on YouTube. And one of her videos was recommended to me, and I always liked her hair. And I never really watched her videos, but I really liked her hair. So I clicked on it and I started watching it. And throughout a few weeks, I watched all of her videos, almost all of her videos. And I just remembered how much I liked the topic of love and relationships and sexuality. And it was something that I used to enjoy to the point where in college, I seriously considered after college pursuing further schooling to be a sexologist. Like, this was something that was my bread and butter that I loved learning about. And it's something that I got disconnected from. And I know the reason why. And I feel like the full story is probably a video for another day. But part of the reason I was so interested in sexuality in the first place is because I discovered that I'm bisexual in college. And it was just so crazy to me that this entire part of my being I had no idea was even there. And I was so interested in learning, about queer culture and what makes people gay and all the biological things that go into it, and learning about love and relationships and how it all works together. I was so fascinated by it because this whole part of me I had been clueless about, up to that point. And after graduating college and, being involved in a long-term relationship with a guy, I just felt completely separated, I guess, from queer culture and queer identity, and learning about sexuality just also kind of fell to the side. Like, I just wasn't involved anymore, and it became something that I just completely forgot about. So now at this point, watching these videos and remembering like how much I was into it, how much I enjoyed learning about it, it was just like a flood of memories. And now I'm able to actually pull in my interest from, number one, the reading, and start reading again on these topics that I like about, on love and on relationships and all that stuff. And it's so cool because, I didn't end up pursuing that degree in sexology, but all the same books that, sexologists have access to, I have access to as well. Like, you can pull up a course list and look at the required reading and then go get the same books. So I've been able to, continue my love for reading and focus it on another topic that I'm interested in as well, or pull in another interest. So then I'm maximizing, like I said before, the enjoyment I'm getting out of it. So number one, reading. Number two, reading about specifically love, relationship, sexuality. And then my third interest that I've connected with has been completely unrelated to those two. Eating. Eating is an interest, you guys. And I'll say eating and cooking as a hobby. I am very much a foodie. I love food. And I realized that I have been depriving myself for a long time. I want to say during college, I started meal prepping because I wanted to be healthy and lose weight and conserve time or whatever. And I've been meal prepping for, I want to say, maybe 6 or 7 years, without putting much thought into it. So eating the same variation of food, like chicken, rice, vegetables, kale, like whatever, healthy type food, sweet potatoes, eating that same variation for 7 years. And the thing about it is, I haven't been trying to lose weight for years. Like, weight has not been an issue on my mind for a long time. So me meal prepping to be healthy and to lose weight doesn't make any sense to me. And especially like the time conservation aspect, all we have is time in quarantine. And especially since I'm following my new resolution to cut off all my side hustles in order to make time, I have time to do something else. I don't have to meal prep to conserve time. So I was just eating one day and I was like, I hate this. I hate this. And I love food. Why am I not getting enjoyment out of this? Like, this could be a moment that I'm really savoring and I'm not. And I realized that because I haven't been mindful and I haven't been paying attention to actually grabbing enjoyment, pulling enjoyment out of every single moment in life, a lot of these tiny moments have been coasting by where I really could be enjoying them. And eating is just one of them. As a foodie, I should be enjoying every single meal that I'm eating. So, long story short, I remembered that food was something that I truly love. and I made a commitment to start playing with my food. Playing with my food. Just going online, looking up new recipes, trying out different things, and cooking meals every single night instead of eating the same goddamn thing. Um, it's been something that I've started super recently. So as I said, I'm still on this journey. This is one that I haven't been doing for months and months. I started this like a week or two ago, like trying to start just cooking for fun and enjoying my food. And let me tell you guys, it's been great. I love food. Like last night I made Italian wedding soup, and I actually made the broth from scratch. Like I used a white wine that I got from the wine store to make the broth instead of using the pack of chicken broth. And I was so proud of myself, and it tasted so good. And then I also made strawberry shortcake from scratch, like made the dough and then put everything together, made the cream. You guys, the pictures didn't turn out as good, but let me tell you, it was delicious, okay? So I'm not gonna be a food photographer anytime soon, and I'm not gonna be like posting stuff on Instagram, but the actual eating, cooking, the cooking of it, listening to music and cooking and playing around, and then the eating has been amazing. And I feel like it's all about finding those small moments and really just maximizing your time here on earth, maximizing every single day so that you're living to the fullest. Yeah. So those are just 3 of the things that I've discovered so far. Just reading self-help books, reading love and relationship books, and then cooking and enjoying food are 3 hobbies that I have been enjoying recently. And I'm sure there's going to be more as I get more mindful as I learn to practice mindfulness, because it's definitely a practice. It's not something I'm good at. I feel like I've just been a robot on repeat for years, and I'm just waking up and learning about the world. So it's definitely something I'm still getting acquainted to, but those are 3 of the interests that I have really tapped into. I'm not going to sing the song because I'll get demonetized and I'll sound terrible. But yeah, those are the 3 things that I've learned so far. And those are the methods that I use to learn them. So if you're kind of in the same place, on the same start of your journey, try those and see how it works for you. And if you've done this journey for yourself, please put in the comments, what are the things that helped you? Because as I said, I'm still learning too. So if you guys have tips, school me, please. And yeah, that's what I've been doing so far. As always, thank you guys for watching. I don't know what the next video is going to be on. Whatever piques my interest, I'll let you guys know once I figure it out. But I'll see you next time, and thanks for sticking with me. Bye.